Okay, now let's try and do like we were doing before.
Oh, dude, it's late evening.
And it's nice. Look at that, y'all. Mississippi just full of greenery and shrubbery and stuff. But we were talking about the truck and stuff before, what it's like hauling logs, and the video cut off, so we'll try and do this again. All right, what's some stuff that you noticed and you've seen that you recognize about hauling logs?
Well, I mean, you're at home every night. It's local. You're not going to go out that far. Maybe 70 miles, 80 miles at the max. Maybe 100 miles.
And them trees smell good.
Huh?
Them trees smell good. I mean, that just
it's pine. I mean, it's the same pine that they use to make the sap. They use to make pine saw and masonite,
masonite boards and stuff.
You know what I mean, basically these are boards. You know, when you get boards for your house, these are boards here. What they do is they take the bark off and they use it for fuel, and then
they cut
the boards. Yeah. They'll grind it up and put it in fuel for these plants, because they'll mix it with actual other fuels or alcohols, and they'll burn it. And then they'll send this through a mill, send one of these logs through a mill, and they'll trim them, and they'll cut those boards that you see everywhere. And the excess or the roughage of it, you know, once they cut all the boards out of it, they'll chip it up and they'll use it for particle boards or toilet paper, paper towels.
Yeah, Georgia Pacific and
paperbacks on books and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
You know, but as far as hauling logs, I mean, the driver's perspective, I'm at home every night. I'm not that far off. I get to sleep in my own bed every night, and as opposed to on the road where you're
sleeping in the truck
hundreds of miles, you know, away from the house. You're sleeping in the truck. You make a little bit more money because you make a little bit more money, but that's because you're away from the house and you're not sleeping in your own bed.
And you're not making enough. Truck drivers who drive over the road ought to be bringing in 80 to 100,000 a year for having to live that life.
No, you usually, I mean, if you work, you bring in more than that. I mean,
no, I'm talking about like as a company driver. Company drivers ain't making that. They making like 40, 50 if they look at 60.
No, you should be making 67,000 a year or better over the road.
I'm talking for like Warner and Swill. They're making like 40 and 50 if they look.
Driving a log truck, you're making $800 a week. 800, 16, 32. Yeah, about 50 something, 40, 60. You know, but you're at home, you know. And I mean, and when you make that kind of money, the main thing about it is, I mean, it's just what you got to go after. Don't bog yourself down with a lot of bills, unnecessary bills, and car notes and shit.
Yeah, keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple, man. I mean, get your house, pay your mortgage, and don't get a car note. Buy a used car. Then once you get your car note down where it's at an acceptable level, then you'll get a car note. I mean, your house note, your mortgage down to an acceptable level. Then you get a car note. You know, don't get all that together because, day to day, like with these logs, with the weather, logging, our main enemy is the weather. Because if it's raining and everything, we can't go out because the woods are mushy and everything's all muddy. And then you got mills that are, honestly, since the oil field crash, a lot of oil field workers have got into the trucking industry. And that means another quarter of trucks are on the road, and these mills are getting overflowed. So if it ain't the weather, we're getting shut off by the mills because they got so much wood they can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
But like I said, that falls back to just budgeting your money. Not getting under under notes or stuff that you can't bear. Other than that. But not just for it. I love it. I love being out in nature. Really. I love being out in the trees and the woods, I'm not under any I'm not under pressure about doing anything. You want to work, you want to be consistent, but I'm not like, you know, you got to go, which is, you know, you're out there in the woods. It's just natural. It just feels, to me, it feels natural.
Yeah.
I love driving, but logging is just, it's natural, man. You work in the woods, they load the trucks up, simple with anybody else, but it's natural production, you know. These trees were standing, then they cut them down and load them on the truck, trim them up, and I hit the highway.
Well, man, appreciate that, and I have to come back down here before I leave and go back up there, whenever that's gonna be. I really don't want to, but I mean, why would you go to North Dakota when you have just
trees and green? Look at that. That ain't even 50 feet to some trees. You look like you was half a mile from.
Bro, you
4 or 5 trees.
You miles. Like the only trees where the trees at are where the lowland places at and where people houses at.
You sent me a picture, and you had like two football field lengths, and it was just a little gathering of trees. And
that was it.
That was it. I'm like, Jesus, man, fuck, forget that.
But man, it's JP TV 3000. Turn this thing off. I'm supposed to head to the house. This is JP and CeeLo Green. Holla at y'all later. Peace.
So I've been doing this for about 18 years, and I love it. I love it. This is what I do. It take care of the kids, and it keeps me busy. I learned a lot of different stuff from a lot of different people. So, you know, that's how I live. So, like I say, I love you. You have to love it to do it, you know. But I take great pride in what I do. I have to, because that's how I was raised by my dad, you know. And a quick story. I used to work with my dad, and I was cutting hair at the same time. I started at age 12. And at age 13, 14, my dad came up to me and said, "Son, is this what you really want to do?" I said, "Yes, sir." He told me to have at it. So I've been doing it ever since. We down here in Laurel, Mississippi on Magnolia Street. My address here, the name of my shop is So Deaf Beauty and Barber, the way you want it. 910 South Magnolia. Y'all come on down here and see me, man. And we're gonna get started here. All right?
What brought me to Mississippi? I lived life in Chicago, Illinois, Maywood, Bellwood. You know, did a little few things up there. Did a little time. Tried to straighten my life out. Got away from the big city. Come to the South. They said it's living good down here. You know, said you can retire here. So I get down here, got to doing work, and I ran into some good people down here I met. You know, I never worked in the oil field, but then I got with a good person named Mr. Knight. He put me on the boat. He put me the lead way on how to become something and have something. And I've been with him for a long time, stuck with him through thick and thin, loyalty. That's how I am. And we got with a good company, you know, times went on. I left, went back to jail again, got back out. He had the doors open up again for me. Told me to come back to work. And I went up the hill ever since then. And it's like, when you work for a company and you put all your best to them, they turn their back on you. And that's what happened with him. They turned their back on him. And I was still in his corner, you know. And it's like, that's not right. It seems like they just use us up to get what they want out of us. And then after they can't use you no more, they don't want to have nothing to do with you. You know, that don't make sense, you know. And he was a good, hard-working person, you know. And like I say, one day I'm going to have to get a chance to see him, because he's bed rest now behind it. Many years he put in, now he's bed rest, and the company turned their back on him. My place here in the South is a good place to eat is PDI's, and a place in Hattiesburg is called Walk On. Oh man, they got alligators good. I get it extra crispy and order waffle fries. Now it's a good place to go. I tell anybody, PDI's is a good place to go. You'll have a smile when you leave it. Things to do in Mississippi, the best place around here is like what you do now. Go to work, come home, hang out with the friends, go to your best barber shop, you know, Russ Barber Shop, get a nice cut, and we all have good conversation. I love to come. They have to see me when I come in there. You know, keep it entertainment. You know, we don't have a stage, you know, but we keep it going. People get nice cuts, and they leave with a smile. You work, go home, spend time with your family, a wife, kids, girlfriend, if you have one. If not, just go home, you know. Wait for the next day. The advice I give to coming to Mississippi, nowadays it's so bad around it. I try to convince youngsters the gang life is not the thing to be in. I lived that life, I done that life, and it don't have to be your life. I try to talk to youngsters, you don't have to go that way. It's not what you want. Get you a girlfriend or your kids, go to work, come home, enjoy yourself. That type of life there, you're going to have two choices. Either you are in the penitentiary or you're going to be rest in peace, 6 feet deep. And that's no place for nobody. I had it for no one. You know, and I thank God that I made it through it from Chicago to Mississippi. I'm 51 years old now, and I'm still here. I thank God for that. And I thank my friends and family that stuck their head out for me and been there in my corner. And I like to say, all young people out there, do not turn to that life because it's not no good way to go. I'm telling you because I've been there. And I hate that I've been there. I have a son. They offered him to be in there. He chose not to. That's a great thing. But ones out there, keep away and go the straight way. This is a shout out for all my friends and good family members out there. I'm at my partner Russ spot. We've been hanging together for years. That's the best barbershop you can come to. My shout out to my family in Chi-Town. My family and friends out there in Bassfield. Yo, Russ, this him. That's why I need to get me a cut.
I'm gonna get you a cut. Get cut up at So Deaf Beauty and Barbershop.
Address.
At 910 South Magnolia, Laurel, Mississippi. Peace.
Here go another
yeah, this the beginning. You got to see the end when you get through with it. Death Row Russell.
Yeah, that's it. I told you. Out of Southfield, you got good people here. You still have good people here. You got good place to eat, and you still have good friendly people here. Now, like you say, everybody can't change the world. We're not Michael Jackson. We can't change the world, you know. But we only can do what we can. If all of our kind Afro-Americans can stick together with one another, instead of trying to put each of us down, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. You know, I'm unemployed. I'm trying to get a job. I talk to many of my friends to talk to. It ain't what you know no more. It's who you know. And if you want to work, you can get a job. So any shouts out to that, I did oil field, I did some everything. I'm looking for a job. Peace.
Well, my experience in Mississippi is it's kind of fast and slow. It depends on which way it goes. Depends on where you at and what you're doing. So at the same time, I'm gonna put it like this: Mississippi like a home place. Everybody retire, sit down. If you want to sit down and retire, this is where you need to be. If you want to go fast, leave. That's the truth. So, what else can I say about it? It used to be everybody stuck together. We used to be home cooked meals, cornbread, chicken. Now we ain't got none of that. So I guess we need to go back to our old roots, what Grandma used to do. Whoop their butts and get them right. Well, we got some fine eating places around here too. And I always soul food. I always down eat. Gonna keep you right. Yeah, it's Stills. We got it Stills, you know. Go to Hattiesburg, got some fine places over there to eat. A lot need to up their updates, their grain, come on with some more. Build a new mall, that's what we need. But anyway, basically it's a nice place to live if you want to retire again. Well, I got in the oil field through a friend of mine, Cleo Pugh. He helped me get in. And I went from there and I took it to a whole nother level. But I had to go there because I wasn't making enough money here to support my kids. Trying to get a wife, you know, gotta have a wife, gotta have money. And at the same time, it was a great start for me. And I appreciate it. Well, if you want to get an opportunity to get in the oil field and you want to do better, look at your career on what you can do in the long terms. Like, you can retire early. You can build from there. You can take that money and build you something else. If you want, that's what your start is. So, if I was a younger man, I would have been done. And by now, I guess I'd be retired. Well, of course, I got to give a shout out to old Russell. Made me look good again. How about that? But at the same time, I like to give a shout out to everybody that's trying in the struggle. Get out there and get it. Because I done lost a lot of good friends out here in this. Believe me, whoever know me and see this, they know what I'm talking about. Thank you.
We got turnips, we got mustard. Oh, turn it up. Get some of them turnips. How many bundles you need today? I think there's that bundle. One bundle? Got them hot ball peanuts. Green peanuts or dry? Dry peanuts hold that flavor a long time. A whole lot better than that green peanut. You'll see. That 11 year worth of experience right there. Lord have mercy. One scoop of $5. How much is it? $3 a pound. All right, well, we're going to add up everything for you. Let's go on and start getting what you want. We'll go to the... You don't want none of them peanuts. All right. How much is that? $5 a pound. You got $8 so far. I thought them peanuts would turn you out. Thank you, my friend. All right, come back to see me. It's easy, my man. Okay, how y'all doing out there? This is Big Dog Produce. We got greens, we got sapsumas, we got hot-boiled peanuts. Some of the best you ever tasted. We got oranges. Come on around. Look at that. Some of the prettiest roots you ever want to see. Down here on 11 and 13 in Laurel, Mississippi. This is Big Dog Produce. We got turnips. We have mussels right here. Broadleaf mussels. Come on down and get you some of them. We got turnips up there. Look at that. Collards, collard greens right there. Come on down and get you some of this stuff. Right here on 13 and 11 in Laurel. Big Dog Produce.
What's up, y'all? JPTV 3000. I'm here with
Reggie Trotter
and
Marco Page.
And y'all already know who it is. Matter of fact, man, let me, one of the reasons we decided to stop today is because I'm at home. Now I'll let you hold it while I talk for a minute. I'm at home, or at least close to my house. I'm out here in the beautiful trees and woods. Matter of fact, if you'll pan around real quick, man, let them see the woods and the trees and stuff in Mississippi. See what we down here working with.
Pine Belt.
Oh, hold on, wait a minute. Who? Check that out. Hey, cuz, tell me something about that white car, bro. I like that, man. I like that Spider-Man look you got with the rims on, boy. Come on, man.
Just part of being in the country. We hook up cars and treat them like we treat our wives.
It's
lovely.
A little dirty. That's how it is in the South. It rains a lot.
But, hey, it is what it is.
I had this car for like 3 years now.
His baby.
Yeah, my baby. My other baby over there. But this is my special baby. I had this car for 3 years,
Now,
fixing it up.
now I gotta say, I had to apologize to Marco because when I seen this car, it actually hurt me to look at it. Cause when I was looking at it, it was like, damn,
Don't look at
you know, no,
Like
man, cause
everybody
no, bro. Once you put the rims on it, it was like, damn.
Yeah. Then that's when I started out with the rim. Then I went a little upgrade, added some little chrome decal on it. Then this year I put the black lights on both front and back, the smoky tail lights, the Spider-Man symbol right here. You gotta come up close and see.
Yeah.
It's unique now.
Yeah, it's unique. Nobody ain't got this. They got the Spider-Man symbol right here on the back and on the side windows. Cover up front.
Let me see, man, so you can get in some of it too.
I like that. Nice. I like that tail. Yeah. Got the Spider-Man symbol right here. And what's so make it unique with the Spider-Man look, because I added the black light to make it a little sinister. Make it a little evil. Evil looking. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But you know, that's where I'm gonna finish it. Cause I got a lot of props off of it. Everybody like it. You know, and that's the way I'm gonna stop it at.
Hey, bro.
I ain't don't add too much chrome to it. Never add too much chrome to your car, cause it's gonna.
Yeah, it's gonna kind of it's gonna mess up. It's gonna mess up the look, man. If you put too much chrome.
Yeah.
Now, Marco, I know you've been deep in the game, man. When it comes to making these cars, man, getting these cars up. I know Reggie have too. Let me ask you this, man. What's one thing you would say to somebody who's thinking about putting a system up in their car?
Huh?
Well, give them.
I'll show it to you.
Okay.
I don't like to broadcast my stuff.
Well, actually, no, never mind. No, we won't.
No, yeah, you're right.
yeah. You know, but you know, what's some points you gonna give somebody? You know, if they get in the system, what's some things to think about?
First thing you need to check is your gauge on your amp wall.
Yeah.
I'm tired of people getting these little 12 gauges, 14 gauges.
Yeah, you gotta get that bigger stuff.
Them little thin ass amp wall.
Yeah.
Your amp need power.
Exactly.
A lot of power.
If you just got some 6x9s, like let's say you just got power in 2 6x9s, that might work if that's all you're doing. But like, if you're gonna get a sub, you know,
you getting 12s or 15, you're gonna have to have a 4 gauge or better.
Yeah.
A 4 gauge or even a 1 gauge. They even got a 0 gauge and what? And that's about that big around. About that big around, a 0 gauge. If you want to push like 15s or 18s. They got 18 size speakers. They got 18 size speakers. I looked it up. Google it. Google it. So, yeah. Like, the type of amp, I prefer Memphis. A Memphis competition amp.
Yeah, I say Memphis because you had the Memphis 10s for like the longest, dude. Yeah. And to be honest, man, that was like the perfect, that box that you had them in, and them 310s, bro. Oh, yeah. Nothing I know of ever beat that and gave that quality sound like that. Exactly. Do you still have that box?
That box withered away. it done got old and started coming loose. Ray, you remember that box I had? D?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, anyway, yeah, that box done rotten and really withered away. So, yeah, I kind of missed the Memphis 10s. They ain't number 10s though. 3 of them.
That's what I said, bro.
You know? So yeah, I prefer Memphis because Memphis is like it's on top of the line stuff.
Yeah,
they got that top of the line stuff. I hate they need to start making CD players and stuff like that, but they only make amps and speakers and tweeters.
Yeah,
they got tweeters that Memphis got tweeters out with them too. So they need to start making CD players and stuff.
JPTV 3000. I'm here with
James Pugh.
Really cool guy. This is our second time trying to do the video because the first time it didn't
And the
record.
cops are still there.
And the cops are still there. So like we were saying before, one of them's leaving, so I guess he doesn't have narcotics in the vehicle with him. But,
well, that's a good thing. Welcome to Mississippi, by the way.
Is that a flagpole or what?
Yeah. The other one got knocked down. Somebody backed into it. Not me.
Well, I kind of hope it. I mean, I'll be honest. You know, when you first showed me, this was yours or that one?
The car on the other side. The black car.
Because I was like, when you first showed me that one, I was like, it's Ford Fusion. I mean, I wasn't really completely sold on the Ford Fusion series, but then when I saw yours, I was like,
I've had that for 3 years and hardly have had any trouble. I mean, yeah, have to change brake pads, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Nothing super and major. Knock on wood.
Yeah. But man, I gotta give it to you, man. I mean, I saw it and I was like, okay, got a little black guy in you, huh?
Bought it at an auction, and what sold it to me is it had black leather. Now in summertime, I hate it.
I bet you
But
do.
in wintertime, when it's 30 degrees out here, but the sun's still out, you get in your car, it's warm. So
yeah,
it's got heated seats. So when I'm at ball games.
Hey man, heated seats are weird, man. I mean, maybe maybe for chicks, yeah, but I'm not a big fan of
Hey,
heated seats.
when you come in from covering a soccer game or a football game and it's 30 degrees out here, and you get in that car and you turn on the seat warmers, ain't nothing like it.
James, I've been working in North Dakota in the winter.
I couldn't make it out there. Probably not.
Dude, there's no need.
I hate the cold.
We have no need for heated anything down here. Except that once every 5 years when it gets like 10 degrees and everybody panics and people get into wrecks because there's a little snow on the road. Oh yeah, that's another thing. In Mississippi, when it snows, everything closes.
People don't know how to drive.
Yeah.
And they don't know how to drive in rain, so
imagine what happens
snow we
snow.
get.
But James, he's a very accomplished photographer. I'll let you tell him about what you do on photography.
Yeah, I started out as a sports photographer, going to college games, high school games, taking pictures. Now I'm a sports editor down here in Mississippi at a newspaper. I cover 4 high school teams. We also have a junior college that's in the county. And then, of course, in football season, I'm at Mississippi State. I'm at Ole Miss. I'm at Southern Miss, taking pictures of football games, get published in our paper. Other papers in the state, whoever calls me up and say, hey, I need a photo of so-and-so or something that happened in the game, and I'll hook them up, get that money rolling in. So it's a fun job. It's not a 9 to 5. It's just to come in, and as long as you get your work done, it don't matter, what hours you do. So it's one of the coolest jobs I've ever had, for sure.
You see, James is the more specific type when it comes to taking photography and video and stuff like that. And he's mostly on like the photography end. I like doing the videos, but I'm like, hey, my phone does it. That's about as far as I want to go with it, because I'm not big on sitting there on the computer, sitting there editing out video. And you'll find that out when you go to watch my videos, that they're like this. I turn it on, we start talking. I turn it on, but. I was telling him about North Dakota. So what are 3 things that are really unique and really special about Mississippi?
Not Mississippi, okay. Well, first we talked about in other videos that somehow didn't get recorded, but we talked about the hospitality. It's known as a hospitality state. Everybody's friendly down here. You get on the road, you're driving, somebody's gonna wave at you, you don't even know who they are. It's just the way folks are in Mississippi. We love our high school football, that's for sure. High school football is almost king down here.
Exactly.
College football as well, just really sports in general. This is a place where Friday nights, Saturdays, people gather up and go crazy with high school football or college football. So, what else? Grits and sweet tea. That pretty much sums up Mississippi, which is a good thing.
And they don't really have like sweet tea down here, like up there. It's different. Oh yeah, we have catfish down here.
Yeah.
Get that, North Dakota. Get some catfish in Walmart. Like what's the point in life if you can't eat catfish at least
Ain't
once?
worth living.
Yeah, I mean, tilapia's fine. That cod nonsense, whatever. But you know, hey, matter of fact, I'm happy you brought that up. I will be eating me some catfish before I leave. But
Charlie's Catfish.
Yes. I mean, they're only open 2 days.
Yeah, I know.
But think about that. If they're that good, they only have to open what, 2 days? Are they open during the week? Just like,
yeah, I don't know exactly when, but there's a couple nights a week they're open.
Okay, because I know it's like they got
Then,
like
of course,
a very
the
few
weekend.
days that they're open, you know, like that. But man,
I think it's like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, somewhere around there. Maybe not Sunday, but you know, good stuff. Hey, too much of it.
Well,
Too much of a good thing is a bad thing.
It's still good though.
Gotta die somehow, huh?
Well, y'all, this is JPTV 3000 here with
James Pugh.
Thank
Good
you,
to
man.
see you again, bud.
Appreciate that, bro. I had to come out, man, before that, man.
Glad you did. Glad you did. By the way, we worked together for
Yeah, we did.
I don't know how many years.
Yeah, we worked at a furniture store.
Driving furniture around.
We're living in people's houses, taking couches and stuff. Up the spiral staircase.
Oh, please don't remind me about that. My back still hurts from that.
And I'm like, you got it? You got it? Like, and you're like, okay, let's just put it down.
Every vein in my neck's popping out. You put me down on the end, so I'm, yeah.
And so I'm trying to think. I don't know if it was just hot or her air conditioning just didn't work in that hallway when we were trying to get it like that. That one time that we had to like get it through the window to get to get it in the house.
They cut out the window.
Yeah.
Go in there. That's maybe should have spent that money on fixing their house. Anyway.
Yeah. But gotta say, fun times.
Fun times.
Yeah. Anyway, JPTV 3000. Thank y'all very much.
Peace out, hotty toddy.
What's up, y'all? JPTV 3000. I want to say thank you to my camera person. She's done a great job and she's always awesome. As you can see by the sign, this right here is my hometown, Laurel, Mississippi. And I wanted to welcome all of y'all, say thank you for showing up. Thank y'all for visiting us. We're gonna go take y'all around town, show y'all some of the places that you can go, things that you can do. We're gonna visit over here to downtown Laurel, pass by a few places, and then hopefully as we get to making these series and these videos, y'all enjoy it, and we'll get to making some more documentaries and interviewing people to tell you their stories about what brought them to Laurel. Right here we're at the corner of Pearson and 4th. This right here is where the old South Fork projects used to be at, and you can kind of see. Yeah, you can kind of see what it used to look like. We're gonna go up there. I've told people outside of Mississippi, people that I've met in my travels, I've told them about how much history is in Mississippi, how rich and deep it is, and how people got to be here and where we came from. So we're going to be getting on down the road, and we're going to go look at a couple more things and a couple more places, and hopefully y'all will stay tuned for some more episodes. But right now, let's get on down the road, and we're going to go over here to the west side. And we are right here off of Ellisville Boulevard. We're at Beach and Lansdale Barbershop, and right over there we got Queensboro, which we'll visit Queensboro another day. We'll let y'all see what Queensboro looks like. But right now, come on over here, and you can see right here next to Beach and Lansdale's Barbershop, we have good old Scotty Pop. And this gas station has been here serving our community since before I was born. And
well, this is a little vegetable and fruit stand that's out here on Highway 11 between the fish market and a store called Scotty Pop. And we sell watermelon, cantaloupe, pickled cucumbers, peaches. We sell sweet corn. We even sell bushels of peas, butter beans. We sell scented candles and a variety of things, you know. Depends on the season. Also in the fall we sell greens, turnip, mustard, sweet potatoes, yellow and white sweet potatoes. We sell satsumas, the little tangerines, you know. Everything is seasonal, and we've been doing this for a minute now, you know. This is something that my grandfather instilled in me years ago, and I just try to keep up to the tradition, keep it alive, you know. And the Lord has blessed me, and He has allowed people to come in my life like y'all, such as y'allself, you know. And this is an opportunity for to put Mississippi on the map, put a good like on Mississippi, you know. Because we believe in Black Lives Matter too around here, you know. To show that everybody is not no thug, you know. Yeah. Roman's vegetable and fruit stand. Off of Highway 11 between Scott and Pop and the fish water. The main thing is that you got to put in the time, you know. Sometimes you don't want to do it, but you got to do it. And eventually it'll pay off. It's just like anything else. Whatever you put into it is what you get out of it. Yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to God. I'd like to thank my mom, my granddaddy, my brother, my sister, my partner here, my protege. He was a big help to me. You know, he started out working, basically just doing it just to help me. And I said, well, darn, if I pay him, you know, he'll show up probably work twice as hard. And so it's been working out so far, you know. Like I said, the Lord has truly blessed us. He has brought people to us that have really blessed us, and we have been a blessing to them as well, you know. And you know, like I say, just keep God first, man, and I promise you, He'll see you through.
And we'll see y'all probably tomorrow or maybe this weekend. We're gonna go out to Hot Coffee in Prentice, Mississippi. What is life in Mississippi like?
It's fine, man. We have our ups and downs. We have our differences. But life is fine. I've been here all my life. I was born in Silver Creek. I was raised in Silver Creek. And I made my living right around Silver Creek. I work at the paper company for 34 years. I got a construction company. We do houses, we do remodeling, life has been good for me in Mississippi. The things people have heard about Mississippi, a lot of them ain't true. A lot of them is true. But I've been here, like I said, all my days. I went to school right here at the Prentice High School. I had a chance to go to college, but I didn't, from Prentice High School. So I got married and started working. I've been working ever since. I've been fortunate enough to raise 3 children and send them to college, Jackson State, Mississippi Valley State, and William Carey in Hattiesburg, you know. And I always worked for a living, and it paid off. I'm retired now from the paper company, but I still do construction work. And we build houses, we remodel houses, we do additions, we do repair work, whatever a person needs, we can do it, you know. And life in Mississippi for me has been fine.
And I also wanted to ask you, how would you describe the weather? how would you describe the weather in Mississippi?
In the summertime, it's hot. In the wintertime, it's cold. But the weather in Mississippi, you can live without having to wear Eskimo suit like you would up in Chicago and New York and around. you know, it just, the weather is hot in the summer. I mean, 90 to 100 degrees is where it's at. In the wintertime, you're gonna freeze. You're gonna have freezes sometimes. We have rainy season. We have dry season. You know, it just. But all around, I ain't found nothing wrong with Mississippi. And maybe I ain't found nothing wrong because I ain't been nowhere else. That might be one reason I ain't found nothing wrong, but it's been good to me, you know.
Man, what's an advice you would give to young people that are out here in Mississippi looking to accomplish and build and be entrepreneurs and have something?
I would tell them to work hard, whatever they go into.
Yeah.
Work hard, learn all you can, don't freeload, just, and the money that you make, take it and use it to better yourself.
Yeah.
Not to try to get ahead of nobody, but to better your own self.
Yeah.
And you can't get rich overnight.
Yeah, it's gonna take a minute.
It's gonna take a minute, you know, but you can get comfortable.
Yeah.
You can get in the construction business, and right now we need some young black guys in the construction business because the money is out there.
Yeah.
But if you don't know what to do, you can't go get it.
Exactly.
So you got to know what to do to go get it.
And
I've been trying to train some young guys, but the money just ain't where they want it to be at yet. So they do something else.
Yeah.
And when you do something else, and ain't no skill with it, after a while you just wonder.
Yeah.
But if you get in this building trade, you'll learn everything it is about building.
Carpentry's in it, plumbing's in it,
electrical is in it. You'll get a chance to work on industrial building, and nobody can tell you. Well, all you gotta say is I do construction work, and I can do this, and learn it, and then you can make a good living, a real good living.
Now,
but you're gonna sweat.
Well, yeah, but
it's gonna be cool all the time.
Yeah, but as y'all can see, we just standing up here talking,
right,
and sweating.
And sweating, yeah. That's Mississippi.
Yeah,
that's Mississippi. Yeah.
Man, I appreciate that, man.
Okay.
I plan on making more content and videos like this, just like the ones that I made in North Dakota. And the important thing for me is making something that when you look at it, when I finish with it, and you look at it 5-10 years from now, you know, you can be proud of it.
Be proud, right?
You know, your family can look at it and be proud of it. And my family can look at it and be proud of it.
Yeah.
And
it just, I mean, I can't speak how nice it is in Chicago, because I never lived there. I've been there. I can't speak how nice it is in California. I've never been to California. But all I can speak about is Mississippi. And Mississippi ain't done me no harm. Mississippi done me good because I got brothers and sisters in other states. And I do just as good as they do. You know. And I never left. Like I said, I was born in Silver Creek, and when I got on my own, I moved about a mile from where I was born. I've been there all my life.
And you can network when you do that. You know, you can build deeper relationships. Because I know that for a fact. Like me making these videos here at home in Mississippi. For me, it's like starting over because I've done so much up there. But my people at home don't know what I'm doing.
Don't know what you're doing. That's right.
So you know, it's and I must say, I really appreciate that piece of wisdom that you gave me, because that's something that I accept, is that I'm having to start over and work on building all this stuff back up.
Building back up, that's right. And the opportunities is here, but they don't walk up to you and hand them to you. You got to work for them. I started construction, and I started to quit. I started to do something else, but every now and then somebody would call.
I want to say once again, Jimmy, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
And you be safe out here.
Interviews, my bad. No, I'm getting interviewed.
Well, it's all good. And we almost done. Hold on.
Okay.
That's my YouTube. I make commercials and business spotlights. This is JPTV 3000 here with Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jimmy, what's the name of your construction company?
Gola Construction.
Kohler?
Gola.
Gola.
Gola Construction.
Gola
I'm gonna give you a card before we leave.
Okay, because I'll be able to put that on here along with the graphic. That way people can see it and they can get in touch with you.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Man, appreciate that.
All right.
Thank you, man. You be safe out here, man.
All right, you do the same.
And man, it's a blessing to be down here with us again, man.
It is?
It is.
Yeah. But tell them Mississippi's all right. Yeah. Yeah, we got a flag we working on. We're gonna get it.
So we are in Jackson, Mississippi on Mississippi Street itself and standing in front of the Mississippi State Capitol building. Quite an impressive building, surrounded by all the other government buildings in Jackson, including the Department of Transportation. We've got Regions Bank, we've got the Marriott. Well, so I'm in Jackson right now for work, and which is how I get to see so many cities in the United States. And whenever I come to a city, I try to stay downtown. I like to walk around. I like to see what the town is all about, and I love going to free museums and things like that. And so I just finished touring the Mississippi State Capitol, which even got a little pin from there. And it's a pretty impressive building, and as I was touring it, I just can't help but be reminded of my home state of West Virginia, which the capital is Charleston, and we also have a really beautiful Capitol building, and yeah, it's neat to see the similarities. So, but yeah, here for work, and hopefully we get to come back again soon. But right now we're probably going to be here for 2 days. Yeah, so something I like about Jackson, and maybe just broader Mississippi in general, but I mean, I've been here in the state for about 8 hours now, and in Jackson specifically for about 4 hours, but you know, just like little acts of kindness that kind of almost, well, both of them kind of brought a tear to my eye. Was the first one, this old guy, he's in this old beat up pickup truck, and I was driving a U-Haul actually, so I'm driving a U-Haul here, and he's broke down at a stoplight. It turns green, you know, and somebody, there's like a Walgreens, and so like two people walked over from the Walgreens, and he's getting out of the truck. He's trying to figure out what's wrong. He's popping the hood, and then the two people like walked over from Walgreens. They stop. This pickup truck pulls up next to him. He said like, "You guys need any help?" And he's like, "You got a tow strap?" And he's like, "Yeah, I got a tow strap." So they pulled right in front of him, and then pulled him into the gas station. You know, like just all that happened, and then yeah, and then I'm going down the road, and there's like this bad car accident, and that I got there before like the police, and I pulled over. I'm standing there, and I was like, "Ooh, shit, like, can I help?" I mean, you wouldn't believe, like, there's pretty much everybody on the other lane. They were all stopping, and they got out, and just, yeah, kind of making sure everybody was okay. And you know, I love seeing that stuff. So yeah, I grew up in Charleston, West Virginia, which is capital of West Virginia, and being from West Virginia, usually people want to tell you about, oh, I've got a cousin that lives in Roanoke, or, you know, oh, I bet you go to the beach all the time. Well, we're about 8 hours from the beach, because it's a whole different state than the state of Virginia. But yeah, so growing up there, though, it's a poor state. Like, Mississippi's a poor state, West Virginia's a poor state, but people seem to get along together pretty well. And although my whole life, you know, I lived up my first 27 years there, and you know, I'd tell somebody, they'd ask, you know, standing in line at the grocery store, gets talking to somebody, and they'd say, "Where are you from?" I'd go, "Here, you know, I'm from Charleston," and they wouldn't believe me. You know, they'd be like, "You ain't from Charleston," you know. But so yeah, the state, it's most of its economy comes from mineral extractions. Like, the whole state's covered in timber, and most of it gets cut routinely. I mean, kind of like Mississippi. Mississippi's got a lot of timber. It's got a lot of coal mining, and the coal miners, they're kind of in a hard time right now, actually. I mean, just coal use has been going down a lot, mainly because we're using so much natural gas for electricity production now. And the state's got a lot of natural gas, but I don't think it takes as many people to extract natural gas as it does coal mining. So Yeah, I mean, state's kind of in a tough time, and people are always looking for an answer. And but it was a great place to grow up, and I kind of get a similar feeling about Jackson. I think Jackson and Charleston, just from what I could see, seem to be really similar. So, neat thing about West Virginia is it's an easy place to spend a lot of time outdoors, and I think that's how I stayed there for 27 years. You know, when I graduated high school, both my parents moved out of state, you know, because they weren't originally from West Virginia. They were basically staying there for me, and but I stayed in the state because, well, I went to college there, but then even after that, I was working in the commercial whitewater rafting industry, and that's a huge draw. So tourism, people love to go whitewater rafting in the state, and that's a neat thing to do, and you can do that both in the southern part of the state and the northern part of the state, and so people love to go rafting. Local residents, people that actually live in West Virginia, they really like hunting, you know, like I grew up kind of hunting. I was not a very good hunter. I mean, my buddies, they were hunters and they were great, but hunting, fishing, I mean, just like there's, you know, it's an interesting fact about West Virginia. They have more vehicle to deer collision than any other state in the country, and there's tons of deer. So when you go hunting there, you don't have to, if you're kind of a bored hunter, you don't have to wait around very long before you're actually going to get to shoot a deer. So yeah, people love hunting, fishing, and people also love like dirt bikes and four-wheelers, and I wish my mom would have let me drive a four-wheeler before I was like 18 years old, because, you know, it's kind of a skill you got to start early in life. If you try to start it when you're 18, you know, you're too scared, and I'm scared when I ride them. So, but my buddies are like, just, they can ride a dirt bike like it's an extension of their body. So yeah, so there's a lot of outdoor activities like that. So yeah, and West Virginia was a great place to live, and one of the biggest reasons that I left was just there weren't a lot of great employment opportunities for me, and a lot of people have been leaving West Virginia for a long time. It's kind of an interesting state because for about, you know, we're coming up on the 2020 census. It's about to be the 7th census in a row where we've had fewer people than the census before that. It's like 70 years of population decline. One great thing about that is driving in the state of West Virginia is wonderful. I mean, there's been people, they finished the interstate highway system in like 1975, and people have been driving. I mean, yeah, and so you know, there's very little traffic. And somebody asked me one time, you know, I've visited 47 out of 50 states, and somebody asked me one time, what's your favorite state to drive in? And I had to think, and I was thinking, and I thought, oh wait, I'm trying to think of my second favorite state to drive in. My favorite state to drive in is definitely the state of West Virginia, because, I mean, John Denver wrote a song about it called Country Roads. But so if I saw anything to come to West Virginia, it would be better job opportunities, and yeah, I think one way the state could get there would be, you know, like maybe less occupational licensing. I don't know. Maybe cut that out. That's a stupid thing. But I do love the state and have a lot of friends there still. Like, no actual family, but so many friends that feel like family. Yeah, I want nothing but the best for the state and for Mississippi. I mean, like, yeah, we feel like I used to work at a ski resort there at Snowshoe Mountain, and it's the biggest ski resort in the state, one of the biggest ski resorts in the southeast United States. And I worked in the adaptive ski center, and it was skiing for like disabled kids and disabled adults, but it was mainly kids. And anyways, just for the whole time I worked there, and for like years before, there was a family that came up, and they would spend like a whole month in January, and they were from Mississippi, and that was like one of my first people I ever met from Mississippi. And they'd come up, and yeah, and they spent a whole month volunteering at the Adaptive Ski Center, and they were just like, yeah, great people. And yeah, I should look them up actually, but yeah, so more opportunities like that, you know. So all right, well, I just want to say hi, Mom, and hey to all the guys at QSI and Mercury Helicopters. So this is John in Jackson, Mississippi, and I am going to be riding in a helicopter tomorrow, maybe. So maybe I'll see you again. If not, enjoy Jackson.
This is JP2E3000. I'm here with
Earl.
Earl, man, appreciate that, man. Thank you for your time. And what got you into law enforcement?
Well, actually,
I wanted to be a school teacher. I wanted to follow my mom and dad footsteps. My mom and my dad, they taught school up in the Delta, up there at Humphreys County, Belzona, for 31 years. And I graduated from high school in 1986. And like I said, I want to be a school teacher, but I kind of just shied away from that. And then I said, okay, my next calling I think is going to be law enforcement. So actually I took the test. I took the entry-level police test in 1992. Fortunately, I got hired in 1994. And June of 1994, I worked patrol. I worked in the patrol division for about 2 years. After that, I was transferred to the traffic division. Worked traffic about 2 years. Then, 1999, I became a detective. I was placed in CID division, and I worked there from 1999 up until 2010. And I got promoted to sergeant. 2010, I was moved to patrol division for about 10 months. And I guess they saw where I needed to be moved back to CID, so I got transferred back to CID. And 2016, I was promoted to lieutenant. Then April of this year, I was promoted to captain. So at this current time, I'm over the detectives, I'm over the narcotics division, and I am also over the juvenile division. CID means Criminal Investigation Division. Like I stated, I'm over CID, narcotics, and juvenile. So that's where I'm at right now. And I got hired in 1994. I do have 25 years here at the police department. I mean, I have my retirement in, but I love what I do, and I'm gonna stick around as long as I can.
Now, when it comes to law enforcement, what are some things that you would say that stick out to you about law enforcement?
Well, with me, a lot of things that sticks out with me, it's just like me, law enforcement to me coincide with me going to church every Sunday. When I go to church, I try to go in, I help people, you know, I listen to the pastor, you know, we pray or whatever, we go through church, and church is all about helping people. And I look at law enforcement, I like to help people. And simply the fact that, just say somebody get a citation, somebody get a ticket written to them, a lot of people come to me and say, hey, Earl, can you help me with this ticket? I said, the first thing I asked, I said, did you get smart with the officer? No, I didn't. I said, okay. So I make contact with the officer, and most time, the officer he'll dismiss the ticket or whatever. But, I mean, I just love helping people, you know, whether it's just in any type of way I can help someone, I love to do that. And I've been doing that, man, for 25 years, and I think I've done a great job so far.
And Earl, man, I appreciate that. I appreciate that that you are where you are, and right. I hope to see more.
Right, exactly.
You know, as our time goes on, because this is all of our communities, but we also need to be involved in law enforcement.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
we need to be part of it.
Right.
You know, not just, hey, like, you know, be a part of it.
Right.
You know, no, go ahead and say what you feel.
And you know, I have two daughters. I have one daughter, she attends Alcorn. I have another daughter, she's still here in Laurel. And, you know, both of them, they drive. And I tell them all the time, I said, look, just because I'm your father, that don't mean you get out there and speed. Matter of fact, I had an officer a couple months ago stop. She knew my daughter. She caught my daughter in the speed zone. She was speeding. She wrote her a citation. So when my daughter came to me with the citation, she said, Dad, can you help me out? And the same question. I said, did you get smart? The officer said, no, sir, I didn't. So I approached the officer, and she said, yeah, no problem. She said she was real nice to me. And you know, the lady, the officer, she dismissed the ticket. But, you know, you got to treat people the way you want to be treated, man. Like I said, I've been doing this 25 years, and I enjoy what I do. And I wanted to be a school teacher, but that didn't work out. So my next thing I want to do was be in law enforcement, and that's where I am today.
But Earl, even I can say that it seems like you still found your calling of teaching, you know, because as you keep getting older, you know, you're just going to keep teaching the next generation, right, man. So you got both of them, bro.
Right. It seems like it's all fall into one. And, you know, I think I've done a good job. I got a lot of respect from the community. A lot of people rely on me, you know, just because of who I am, because of my name. And my mom and dad always told me a good name will take you a long way, you know. So at the end of the day, I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful. I go to Sweet Hope Baptist Church. My pastor.
Man, what you know about Sweet Hope,
Hey,
bro? What you know about Sweet Hope, bro?
My pastor is Bobby Ray Bolton.
I know who that is.
That's my guy, man. That's my guy right there. Love him to death.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Yep.
Man,
yeah, I'm a trustee of the church, man, and I love it, man. I love it.
Man, Bolton and Graves, man, when they have them revivals.
Oh man, hey, listen, Bolton, he's a lot of people don't like him because he's strict, and ain't no deacon, ain't no trustee gonna run the church.
Yeah,
he said he's the pastor, and he's the head. He's gonna run it, and that's the way it should be. That's the way it's supposed to be.
And you know what, man? You see Sweet Hope growing too.
Yes, sir. It is.
And I think a lot of people be getting mad at that.
Yeah. I love Sweet Hope. I love my pastor. I support my pastor 100%. And he has done a phenomenal job. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I know he's been there between 34 and 35 years. Now I was going to a church up in Bossburg up until my grandmother passed. My grandma passed up. She passed in 2009. I think we joined Sweet Hope in 2012. So that's where I've been, and that's where I'm gonna stay. I love it. Love it.
Man, appreciate that. Man,
yeah.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir.
Keep doing what you've been doing.
I appreciate you. Appreciate you interviewing me.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
My mom said from the time that I was a little bitty, from the time that I was a toddler, that I wanted to be a police officer. And, you know, I want to be a police officer. And so everywhere that I went, she said that I wanted to, you know, wear a gun belt or pick something up that had a gun. And, of course, we grew up like, you know, most people back those days did, where, that, you know, you had to find things to do as kids. You know, you went outside, you actually played. You know, you got in the dirt, you got dirty, you didn't have cell phones, you didn't have, you know, all this stuff. You know, I remember having an Atari, but all these games and stuff that we have, these kids to have nowadays, that was not, you know, available to us as kids back then. And I'm very thankful that it wasn't, because we learned a lot. But I remember, you know, playing cops and robbers, you know, those type of things. I always wanted to be the good guy. I wanted to be the guy that helped somebody take a bad guy off the street, you know. And I remember as kids, you know, as playing cops and robbers, you'd tell them to put their hands behind their back, and you'd make believe that you'd put handcuffs on them and take somebody over here and lock them in jail. Then you'd go get somebody else. And so I grew up just in that kind of mindset of wanting to help individuals that were in need, help get the criminal element out of society. And so I think that a lot of times, as you see these law enforcement officers that's out here in today's time, it's a calling to us instead of something that we just do. Yeah. We grew up wanting to do it. We grew up wanting to help somebody. And God's called us to do that, I believe so. Yeah. I really do. And as I got older, I tell this story. I was about 20 years old one time, and my captain, he gets on to me a lot. He said, one time, yeah, I hope he was 20 years old one time, but I was about 20 years old, and I was, my little hometown that I was living in at the time, I saw an officer in an altercation with a gentleman at a service station. And being, you know, just out of my teenagehood, in my early 20s, I saw this officer in need, and whenever I pulled over and to help this guy, he was fighting just fiercely with this guy. This guy was swinging on him and hitting at him, and I could see the officer's radio over there on the ground. I could see the handcuffs laying there, and I said, hey, can I help you? You know, I pulled up there to get in the middle of it, to get in the fight with this officer, even though I was not in law enforcement at the time. And so he's like, yeah, get my cuffs and help me get this guy, you know. So, you know, it's one of those things where this guy's fighting us and we're fighting him. And I get him, you know, get him his cuffs, and I help him put those cuffs on there. And I think that just kind of even sparked the drive that I always had in me more because I was able to help that officer at that time. And so it wasn't long after that, the city actually gave me a letter of accommodation for helping this officer out and taking this guy into custody. And then October, whenever I turned 21, I turned my application in as a police officer to that town, to that city, and they hired me as a police officer, and that was in 1997. And I've been at it since 1997, and it's been a great run. I started in law enforcement in North Mississippi, and now I'm Chief Deputy for Jones County Sheriff's Department. My wife and I moved to Hattiesburg in 2011. Sheriff Hodge brought me on as his Chief Deputy in 2013. And so it's just been a blessing for me and my family here in Jones County, as well as my home up north as well. Okay. Jerry, I think that the Jones County Sheriff's Department, they strive to have the support of the community. We have numerous different free public safety classes we do over at our training center to get the community engaged of what law enforcement really is. We want them to understand us. We want to partnership with them, our churches, our schools, our businesses. We go and we speak at a lot of civic events, our neighborhood watch programs. We're active in those type of areas where that we try to get the sheriff's office and partnerships where that they understand us and we understand them. We need each other more in today's time than we ever have before. As we was just discussing, you know, social media is trying to divide us. Everything is, somebody has an opinion about everything, and they really try to voice it, and now it's so easy to take and tear down someone with the equipment that we've got now, and even with the camera footage and stuff now and video, you can do whatever you want to with it to make me look bad, or make something out of something that really not what it is. You know,
and you always see the
twist
percentage.
and turn. Yeah,
you see the percentage is always in the negative.
Always. And so, you know, I think that we need to partner better with law enforcement in our communities. You know, that's what I tell somebody is that, you know, we're human beings. We're not programmed as robots to be able to just walk around and you tell me what to do and I do it like a robot. We're human beings. We love, we have compassion, we care. We wouldn't be out here doing the things that we do, putting our life on the line every day to try to help a stranger that we never even know. I mean, we get put down all the time, and I guarantee you, out of the 100 people or 80-something people now that work at this department, any one of them would go out there and put their life on the line, getting shot at or anything else, for somebody that they don't even know. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, we see them rush into these houses to save kids, and we want the community to know that we're there for them, as well as we need to feel that the community is there for us. And there again, the Southern hospitality is showed a lot of times to these law enforcement agencies. I come in this morning and there's just boxes and boxes of donuts down there on the patrol table. People bring cookies from the community. Churches prepare food for us all the time. They invite us out to events to be a part of. If the school's doing like a drug awareness program, they invite us out. There's all types of things in the communities that go on all the time here in Jones County, which I think makes it a very, very special place, because they try to combat the drug problem. You know, they try to work with us. What can we do to teach our kids younger? Because as they grow up, we don't want them to see us arresting mom and daddy as in a bad light of every time that we go in the house. If that cycle's not broken, they don't know anything different. You know, so they think we're bad. They think that, oh, this guy's just coming to take mom and daddy to jail. Well, if he took mom and daddy to jail, he'll take me to jail. Cops are bad. You know, I can't stand being out in a restaurant or being out in society and hearing a parent tell their child, if you don't be good, I'm going to get that cop to come take you to jail. Or he's going to get you. I can't stand it. I'll go over. I normally carry like a pocket full of stickers, and I'll carry over to these little fellows or little girls and give them, you know, a big hug and a love and say, hey, I'm here for you, you know. And like I told you, my family means to me what yours means to you. We need to partner in today's time instead of dividing. I mean, we make mistakes.
Yeah.
Who don't make mistakes?
We all do.
We all make mistakes. And so, just because we don't agree on something, don't make me a bad person, though. It don't make you a bad person. I have my ways of doing things. You have your ways of doing things. But communicating and understanding each other is the biggest problem I see in today's time, is that people don't want to communicate. People want to just give their opinion. You're not going to listen to me anyway, so I'm not going to tell you, And then you go on, you're mad, and you put your perception of law enforcement out there, and then the next person comes along, well, they don't want to listen to nothing. I think we've gotten in today's time where we can't work our problems out. I mean, that's just like with our relationships with your spouses or these families. You get mad at each other. You have arguments in your home. Just because you have arguments and stuff in your home, do you split your family up?
Yeah.
Well, that's the same way with law enforcement in communities in today's time. Just because you have differences of how that you do things shouldn't keep you apart. You still need each other. Yeah. You still need to work through your problems to get to where that you're going to make your community better. And the only way that we make our communities better if we're partnering together. Our churches, they're a vital, vital role in today's time, in my opinion, for our school kids, for our families, law enforcement. A lot of departments have started adopt a cop thing, where the churches come out and they adopt a specific cop and they pray for him on a regular basis. Those are the kind of things that we did here at Jones County. We have a training center that is under the supervision of a lady that just does a phenomenal job of bringing in all types of church workshops, public self-defense classes, ride-alongs. We do all those type of programs here at Jones County, ride-along programs and those type of things. I commend you seriously for trying to take a stand and make something happen, even if it's just one person. Even if it's one person that sees this video that says, "Hey, all law enforcement's not bad. I need to go down to my local police station or my local sheriff and find out about them." I'd love to, go do a ride-along. We've encouraged our board of supervisors, our community. You can do two ride-alongs if you pass a background. Now, you can't be a convicted felon or something. We do background checks, but after you pass that background check, you could come and do a ride-along and see exactly what these men and women are facing out here on a day-to-day basis.
And that's another thing that made me really want to make this video is I work in North Dakota, so I'm not home a lot. Right. And I realize now that this is a passion of mine and I like doing it. Sure.
But how many thousands of people are you fixing to be able to reach whenever you do a video like that?
And that's another thing that I've learned, that I've tried my best to be as positive as I can. Anytime somebody asks me about how can they get on to the oil field, I'll try and give them some information. Or if somebody asks me something about Mississippi, I'll try and give them some positive information, because they can go find the negative information anytime.
Sure, yeah. And we can make anything negative. That's the thing about it. If we don't want to have our mind changed about something, if we don't want to have our minds changed about something, we're going to continue to see the negative. Or if you can't be open-minded and be flexible in a conversation, it's always going to be one-sided. It's going to be your side. Yeah. But you've got to be open-minded in order to change things, in order to take and have that open mind about law enforcement or about your community. If you're just headstrong and you're not going to change your thought process, then how's it ever going to change?
And you make a great point, and this is something that I've learned. I've learned to listen to people. Sure. Because you'd be surprised, because even one of my coworkers, I hadn't seen him in a while, and he was like, "Hey, Jerry," and he started telling me about what was going on with the guys on his crew. Yeah. And it just reinforced that. You'd be surprised how far a person can get just by listening to somebody. And sure. I'm telling you, listening to somebody is a powerful thing when you can just hold a conversation with somebody and just have them listen to you.
I'll make it as simple as what I can make it. You remember, and you, me, or nobody probably can remember. But as a toddler, I watched children a lot. They watch. Other night, it was this little boy. He sits beside us at a football game. We had season ticket seats, and the little family sits right beside us. And little boy, every football game, whenever we stand to do the Pledge of Allegiance, there's another elderly gentleman that was a veteran that sits beside us. But whenever whenever they get ready to say they sing the Star Spangled Banner and stuff, we all stand, salute, put our hand over our hearts. Well, this gentleman salutes. Well, that little boy went from putting his hand over his heart. The other night I was sitting there watching him, and he's 2 or 3 years old. Puts his hand over his heart. He turns around and he sees that veteran saluting. He brings that hand up there, just like that, looking at that man, and he salutes that flag. Those are the kind of things that we grew up doing, is watching people as children. And if as simple as a child can take and watch and learn and listen, how did we learn as children growing up? We listened. A lot of times whenever mom and dads were talking and older brothers and sisters was doing things, how did we learn? We listened. We don't do enough of listening in today's time. We always want to put our 2 cents worth in. Give our 2 cents. Tell you how you're not doing it right or how you should be doing it. But yet we won't listen ourselves.
I was born here in Laurel, Mississippi, at a place that's no longer open. It was called the South Mississippi State Hospital, but most people called it the Charity Hospital. I was born there, and I grew up in a community called the KC. It was a 3-room shotgun house, not a 3-bedroom house, but a 3-room house. We had we called it the front room, the middle room, and the kitchen. We did not have hot and cold running water. We had a faucet in the bathroom. We had a faucet in the kitchen. And to get hot water, we had to put it in a cast iron kettle and put it on the stove to heat the water. To wash dishes, take a bath, whatever we needed hot water for, we got it from the stove. And I still have the kettle at my house now because I never want to forget having to use that kettle growing up. It was cold in the winter and hot in the summer in the house. You could see the sky through the roof. You could see the ground through the floor. And but it's what helped to shape me. It gave me that knowledge that in order to have something, you had to work for it. There was something when we were growing up called commodity. They gave away cheese and powdered eggs and powdered milk, things like that. But my parents never would take commodity. They said it was for people that didn't have anything. Even though we didn't have anything, they felt that we didn't want to take something from somebody that really needed it. My daddy worked every day. My mother worked every day. But the thing about my parents is that before we went to school every morning, my mother got up and fixed us breakfast. So when we walked to school, when it was cold, we had something in our stomach to face the cold. And when we came home from school every day, she was there fixing something to eat after we got from school. And she had been working in people's houses all day while we were at school, but she got us ready for school and was there to greet us when we got back. And her thing to us, my mother had, I think, like a 3rd grade education. And she always instilled in us that we needed to do better than she did. And she pushed education. She said we needed to get an education because she didn't want us to have to live the way that she did. And so I got an education because my mother made sure of that. And I went to, graduated at Watkins High School here, went to JC, Jones County Junior College, then I went to Southern Miss. And so I've been around the area most of the time. I never moved out of the state. I've been here the whole time, and I've seen progress in Laurel. I've seen setbacks in Laurel, but it's been home for the time that I've been on this earth. It all kind of gelled together. It was when I got married, and we bought a house. And where we bought the house, around us was boarded up houses, overgrown lots. It just looked a mess. And I would call the council person, and she would give me a number to call some other department in the city. And I would come and talk to the mayor at the time to tell him what I felt like some issues were in the city. And it got to the point that my daughter said that when she graduated high school, she was gonna leave Laurel and she was never coming back. I knew then that was my call, that if other young people were like my daughter and they decided I'm leaving here, I'm not gonna stay, then you've got that brain drain that everybody leaves and there's nobody here to take up the mantle and to take up the leadership roles and to move the city forward. So I decided at that time that I was going to run for city council. I ran for city council and I did 4 terms on the city council, did 16 years on the city council. And after those 16 years, I was to the point that you either run for mayor and be promoted or you go home, because I felt like I had gotten to as far as I could go as city councilman. And so I decided that I would run for mayor, and the time that I chose to run for mayor, it was an open seat. The mayor prior to me was retiring, and I decided that I would try to win the mayor's job. And I ran on 16 years of experience. And my campaign slogan was experience leadership for New Laurel. And I ran on that. I won. I'm in my second term. The last election I ran unopposed. The election is coming up again next year, and I hope I can repeat that feat by having no opponent again. Several people have said they're gonna run, so that might be a possibility, but I'm still hoping and praying that we can go back in unopposed. I feel like I have accomplished some things. One thing about Laurel is that the streets were in terrible shape. Previous administrations had chosen to pave over streets and leave the infrastructure underneath the streets like they were. So after you pave a street, in a couple weeks you're digging into it because you got a water line that has broken or you got a sewer cave in. And so it takes a lot longer, it costs a lot more, but the sensible thing to do with streets is to fix the water and sewer lines underneath, and then you've got a good street for 20, 25 years. And that's what this administration has chosen to do. We've also tried to do improvements on housing, so wherever we can find grants, because a lot of the houses in Laurel are owned by the people, but they are not able to fix the houses the way they should be because of their income level. And so we search for grants. With the COVID going on right now, we're on hold, but we've got a grant right now where we're going to redo 7 houses. doesn't seem like a lot, but 7 houses being rebuilt from the ground up to some people who are living there that has so many problems with the house. It'll be a great addition to their lives, a great improvement to their quality of life. And if we can just get to the point where we can have some meetings and get some things done while COVID is going on. We also try to do a lot of things for quality of life, like recreation, and we're working right now on a tennis court that the high school will be using as their home court. We have just finished a skate park that we will be having a ribbon cutting on in a couple weeks. We're getting ready to build 8 new ball fields at the Sportsplex, and we try to give something for the community to be able to enjoy that doesn't cost them anything. They just go and they just enjoy the things that we have available. And like other cities across the nation, we don't have enough money, but right now we're doing pretty good financially. We're able to have some good income coming in from our sales tax, and that's because people believe in the city. They invest in the city, they invest in businesses here, and I think that Laurel is moving in a good direction right now. One thing I found, and I've dealt with it my entire career in politics, is that we don't need to separate communities. We need to be Laurel. There doesn't need to be a white Laurel and a black Laurel. And right now we have a lot of Latinos that live in Laurel. We don't need to be a separate community. We still have people that will complain to me about things and say, well, you don't do it like they do, you do it over in the white neighborhood. And my question is, where is the white neighborhood in Laurel now? Where is the black neighborhood? Where is the white neighborhood? Where is the Latino neighborhood? Because everybody is all over the city. And in order for us to progress, I believe we have to work together. We have to move away from, we have to accept the advancements that we have made and build on those, because growing up here in Laurel, there have been some gigantic steps here. From this place right across the street here that was the Arabian Theater, where the blacks sat in one section and the whites sat in another section. We've moved from there, and we need to continue to build on things like that. And I think that as we begin to work together, the entire city of Laurel will rise together. And I believe that is one of the things that I would tell anybody, any young person that wants to try to serve in politics, because it definitely is a service. It's not somewhere that you make a lot of money. It's not something where people praise you. There's a lot of criticism. There's a lot of people saying that you're not doing this right, you're not doing that right. But it needs to be about improving the city. And I believe with us working together, that that is something that is very much doable, and the only way actually that we can progress. There's a lot of activity going on downtown, and they accuse us of catering to the white people downtown, when in fact the actuality is all the buildings that are for sale downtown are for sale to anybody. You cannot buy a building downtown or anywhere else with a 200 credit score. So you need to get some things together, make sure that you got your business straight, and downtown is open to you just like it is to everybody else. And that's where we got to get to, that we all work together, we all make this a better place, and it can be done. And for people that, young people that want to make things better, then just be willing to go through the criticism, to go through the hard work, because none of this stuff just happens overnight. It takes hard work, it takes dedication, and it takes a cooperation between everybody. And that would be my advice to young people looking to get into the political field.